Yo, what's up guys? Yeah, pokeaim here with my next Pokemon Sword and Shield moveset video guide on how to use Dracozolt. Now this Pokemon, electric and dragon type, beautiful resistances, flying, steel, fire, water, grass, and electric. That's pretty prominent considering Pokemon like Corviknight and Rotom Wash are running around in the tier, as well as Ferrothorn. It has a decent attack stat at base 100. It's not that respectable, however it does have the ability Hustle, which basically multiplies its attack by 1.5. So it's the effect of a choice band and lowers the accuracy of its moves. And just like its fossil counterparts, it has some nasty moves that are doubled in power if you move before your opponent, which is a Bolt Beak. So this Pokemon, really cool. Much like Dracovish, it can basically do the exact same thing. If you guys actually missed that moveset guide, there is a playlist down below. Also, if you want to figure out how to team up these Pokemon, I do have playlists down below in the description, and I'll be showing off this Pokemon later today in a Pokemon Showdown Live. So the first set we have for Dracozolt is the Choice Band set, and it's basically, you know, a Choice Band, which is Hustle on top of a Choice Band, the actual item. Bolt Beak is your main move. You want to run a Jolly Nature because you want to always be faster than Pokemon like Corviknight and Bisharp. You want to hit them as powerful as possible. Corviknight is sent flying by this Bolt Beak right here. We have Dragon Claw as our other stab move. It's nice and spammable. You don't have to lock yourself into Outrage just because this Pokemon hits incredibly hard. And then we have Earthquake. Earthquake is a good option, maybe for like Age Slash if you don't want to get hit by King Shield, or just again another like strong move to click in itself. And then Aerial Ace is the last move. Now Aerial Ace isn't necessarily for coverage, right? The cool thing about Aerial Ace is that when you Dynamax, you get the +1 speed because it's a max air scream. So if you Dynamax, you get +1 speed on a choice band Pokemon. So you know, you use those 3 turns, you can Dynamax Bolt Beak, and that will give you electric terrain to buff your already strong electric type attack. And when you go back to regular, you can click a move and you'll have that +1 speed from the Dynamax Aerial Ace. But in general, it's still pretty cool because it's a move that doesn't miss. And that's very important on a Hustle Pokemon. So even though it's not stab or anything, it can still be relatively strong coming off of a Hustle Pokemon with a Choice Band. Be careful when using this Mon, in my opinion, because much like any Mon, it's really prone to being Dittoed. Because Ditto can just come in and copy you, but I mean, you can always Dynamax back and beat it. I actually like to run this Pokemon with Dugtrio, just because a Sash Dugtrio with like Spin Support, or even just a ground type in general like Excadrill, just so that when Ditto tries to copy me, it doesn't beat me 1v1 my team, right? So Excadrill, Dugtrio, even Ferrothorn is a pretty good partner. Though be careful because Bolt Beak from a Choice Band one, not from Ditto, but from a Choice Band one hits incredibly hard. So be careful. Those are all like checks to it, not necessarily counters to that Pokemon. The next set we have is the Choice Scarf set. And this one pretty much runs the exact same moves. You still want to be Jolly. You want to have that Bolt Beak, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and then Fire Blast is our next one. We are Naive Nature, so we're minus Special Defense. The reason we have Fire Blast or Fire Fang is because Fire Blast is not affected by Hustle, so it's more accurate than Fire Fang. And also on a Choice Scarf set, Fire Blast hits harder to physically defensive Ferrothorn than a Hustle boosted Fire Fang. It actually does a little bit more. So, and again, it's more accurate. So that's mainly there for Ferrothorn, which is a Pokemon that can come in on Dracozolt. That's also pretty cool because if you Dynamax this Pokemon as well, you get a stronger hit than you would have from the physical side. Just because again, a lot of Ferrothorns are running physically defensive to deal with it. And Ferrothorn is a Pokemon you will have to deal with because a Leech Seed Ferrothorn will, for the most part, beat Dracozolt 1v1 if it is choice locked. Not choice band, but choice scarf. So that's something to keep in mind on this one. But much like Dracovish, I mean, like the main difference between the two is that Dracovish obviously has Strong Jaw, which boosts its Vicious Rend, whereas Dracozolt has strong attacks or stronger attacks in general, like all around stronger attacks, whereas Vicious Rend is just ridiculously strong with Strong Jaw. But Dracozolt has all around stronger attacks, but has a chance to miss. So the next set we have is, again, much like the Dracozolt that I talked about before, but or excuse me, Dracovish that I talked about before, but it's a substitute. It's a substitute set, and what this allows us to do is abuse the fact that it has pretty good resistances. Pokemon like Rotom can't break your sub. Pokemon like Ferrothorn can't break your sub, at least in one hit. So being able to substitute and ensuring that you can get off that Bolt Beak, that Dragon Claw can be pretty cool. The last move is basically up to you. Low Kick or Fire Fang are both good. Fire Fang will obviously 2-hit KO Ferrothorn, whereas Low Kick can be pretty cool because it can also 2-hit KO Ferrothorn, but it gives you the +1 attack as well if you Dynamax. So if you get that Max Knuckle, you can get +1 attack on Dracozolt. So that can be pretty cool behind a sub. The items you can run are Quick Claw. I did that on Dracovish before. You guys missed that video, feel free to check it out. I did that and it actually put in work. And it's pretty crazy because I'll say the exact same reasoning. Not being able to revenge kill this Pokemon, guaranteed, is pretty scary for a lot of Pokemon. Like your opponent, if you go for sub, your opponent might make a crazy aggressive play and go hard Dragapult because they have Infiltrators, so they go through your sub, and then they try to drop a Draco or go for Shadow Ball or something if you're low enough, and you outspeed them because your Quick Claw pops, and you knock them out with Dragon Claw. Or, you know, that happens and you miss Dragon Claw because of hustle ability. That'd be pretty funny. But, yeah, that's an item you could run. Leftovers is also pretty good for longevity. You can put up multiple subs on Pokemon like Toxapex, Jellicent, Ferrothorn, Rotom. So Leftovers can give you that recovery, that longevity. And Metronome is also an option for spamming Bolt Beak, because even if you miss moves like Bolt Beak, Dragon Claw, they will still be powered up by Metronome as long as you have clicked it. So as long as I'm clicking Bolt Beak multiple times, Metronome still powers it up. So it's definitely a potential item that you can run on Dracozolt. And again, either Low Kick or Fire Fang. I think it really depends on what you value more for the team. Does your team value getting rid of Ferrothorn quicker, or do you prefer having the +1 on Dracozolt in attack? And I think that this set in particular can work really well on Sticky Web teams. Though Choice Band is obviously super good on Sticky Web, because I mean you're getting rid of that slow 75 base speed due to Sticky Web being up, lowering your opponent's speed and making your Bolt Beat stronger. But again, this can be pretty cool on Sticky Web, because not only can you use it offensively and be faster due to Sticky Web, but you know, defensively for the reasons I mentioned before. You can get a substitute on Toxapex, you can get a substitute on Corviknight, you can get a substitute on Ferrothorn, you can get a substitute on Jellicent. So those are definitely options for Dracozolt. The last one is taking advantage of a new item. This is a little bit more, funnily enough, this is actually more gimmicky than Quick Claw set, because the Quick Claw set is actually tried and true, whereas Blunder Policy is a new item in this generation, and what it does is if you miss an attack, it gives you +2 speed. So it raises your speed by 2 stages, and that's pretty cool for a Pokemon that, you know, wants to move before your opponent, considering its Bolt Beak is doubled in power, if that's the case. You want that to happen, right? Chances are, if you're using a hustle Pokemon, you're gonna miss eventually, right? So that's pretty cool in a sense that on a Switch, and you can actually use moves like Dragon Rush, which is already 75% accurate, so you make it even less than that to prop that. So this could be something that I think can win in the late game, or can still go early and be crazy, right? But all your moves have a chance to miss because of the hustle ability anyway, and obviously, Dragon Rush has the highest chance to miss. So you're using that to potentially activate this. I think this can also work on Substitute set as well, using a Blunder Policy. And that could be interesting, especially because if you're behind a Substitute, Ditto cannot imposter transform into you, since it needs to basically see you, right? Ditto can't transform into Ditto. Ditto can't transform to something behind a Substitute. So it needs to see you in order to, and you need to be a real Pokemon in order for it to, I like how I said you need to be a real Pokemon, but this is like 2 fossils spliced into, whatever. You need to be a real Pokemon in order for Ditto transform you. So Substitute is also an option on this set, or you can use Blunder Policy on the last set that I mentioned. But again, Dracozolt, I think good team compositions are ones with spikes and like Stealth Rock. Like I like Mew, for instance. Mew being able to get up potential hazards is very nice, though that's like a little bit dependent on, what was I trying to say? That's dependent on the type of team you want to use as well. I think that because Mew isn't as good at getting up spikes and Stealth Rock as it was early meta, just because a lot of extra are running around with Focus Sash and whatnot. But spikes and Stealth Rock are very good, especially because physically defensive Pokemon like Seismitoad and Ferrothorn are not going to appreciate hits coming from Dracozolt, even though those are checks to Dracozolt. They're not going to appreciate hits coming from Dracozolt with layers of hazards up. Likewise, I like Cinderace a lot as a partner, because Cinderace appreciates Dracozolt's ability to get rid of Toxapex, get rid of Jellicent, right? Whereas Dracozolt appreciates Cinderace's ability to get rid of hazards with court change or to scare out Pokemon like Ferrothorn. But good checks this thing. I already mentioned Ferrothorn is a decent check. Be careful playing around a Choice Band set. A Choice Band does not have to run Jolly, by the way. It can definitely run Adamant, but I think Jolly is better just because of the fact that Max Speed Corviknight is something that runs around and you just hit so hard with the Hustle Boost. But I think that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Like I said, later today I will be having a Showdown Live going up featuring this Pokemon, and I'll be using, I believe, the Choice Band set in that one. So that should be a lot of fun. Ideally, I hit my moves because we're just going to be clicking buttons with this Pokemon. That's the type of Pokemon it is. This and Dracovish are just crazy. All they do is click buttons. If this thing had, I don't know, man. Hustle's a great ability, man. If I had Tough Claws, I think Tough Claws would be a little bit better just because I don't have to risk missing. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed. I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye, my friends. And I cannot find the stop recording, but here it is.